IVM.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with Gujarati snacks. Did you know that the first ever mention of the dhokla came from the 11th century? That's about 1,000 years ago. And this is from an old Jain text. Back then, the dhokla was called dupka. And the earliest mention of the word dhokla comes from the 15th century Gujarati text. Now, for all of you who have never heard of a dhokla or eaten one, let me try and describe it in my most chefy way possible, my most master chefy way possible. So, dhokla is a puffy, fluffy, light, savory cake. It is made from chickpeas, pigeon peas, urad dal, and rice. And these are all ground up and fermented into a batter. A little baking soda is added to put that extra fluff into the cake. And sometimes these are served with a chutney and are slightly sweet and sour when eaten. So, how was that? Do you think I'll get a job on the next season of MasterChef? If any of you all have any pull in the show, please, send in my audition. Anyway, coming back to the dhoklas, the reason why I started this podcast talking about dhoklas is because of something that happened on Wednesday. I was at my office having lunch with my team, and one of the team members had brought a plate full of dhoklas. Now, I thought it was a snack that she was going to offer to everyone and then have a proper lunch afterwards. But no, the entire plate was for her. It was her lunch. Now, even though I wanted to get out of my chair and shake her up saying, "Don't you know this is not a good choice for lunch?" I didn't because, well, as experience has shown me, that is how you'll end up losing friends. So instead of ranting at her, I'm going to rant to you. When it comes to nutrition, there are a few rules we have to keep in mind. The first rule is to avoid foods that will do us harm. So junk food is out, sugar is out, deep fried foods are out, chemically laden foods are out. The second rule is to have food that you enjoy and your body enjoys receiving. Things that are satisfying your taste buds, but also satisfying your nutrition needs. Things packed to the brim with vitamins and minerals. The third rule is to get a variety of foods into your system. Try to have a number of ingredients on your plate. As you saw, the dhokla, as an example, only had 4 main ingredients, most of which were fairly similar to each other, pulses and grains. There were no vegetables at all. It was a large quantity of just one kind of thing. As your habit coach, I want you to get into the habit of eating a variety of food, a variety in the number of dishes you have over the course of a week, as well as a variety on your plate. This way, the body gets a number of nutrients from that variety that you have prepared. Very often, we just have a few go-to dishes that we can't think of, we just make those. Create a variety of these dishes so you're constantly getting better and better nutrients into your body. So your super simple habit starts by choosing foods that has a number of different ingredients. One way to do this is to have a lot of different colors on your plate. Different colors means different ingredients. The second way is to have many different dishes that you eat in small amounts so that you get the nutrients from each of them. And remember, variety is the spice of life. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show. For those who prefer listening to it in that language, do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well. Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by Utsav Mamoria, host of Postcards from Nowhere, comedian Kajal Srinivasan and Antariksh. In This Cock and Bull, they examine everything from Sri Lanka cancelling exams due to paper and ink shortage to India's rank in the World Happiness Index. Let me tell you about a new show that I'm super excited about. It's called Ek Chuski Finance. It's a finance podcast made for women by financial expert Priyanka Acharya. She simplifies complex financial concepts in an easy-to-learn manner. To top it off, the show is available in 8 languages. Tune in every Tuesday for fresh episodes. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam meets Sandeep Jethwani. Sandeep is the co-founder at Deserve. They talk about how Deserve is creating long-term portfolios for working professionals. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the findings of the PEW survey on gender roles in Indian society. On the Life Manifesto, Zarina reiterates how important it is for women to uplift other women and shares how they can go about doing so. And on Marathi Kirkitun, the Deshmukhs explore the sixth sense in animals and humans and why it makes them extraordinary. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. And don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. Also, remember, we're on YouTube. You can check us out on ivmpodcast.com/survey and get a list of all the YouTube channels we have active at this point. I'd also like to make a quick note that we're doing a small listener survey, and it would really help us if you could fill that out. You can go to ivmpodcast.com/survey. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance and India Water Portal. Thank you so much for making this possible.
सफर, रास्ते, मंजिल और मुकाम अक्सर ये हमसे कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, पर हम हैं कि अपनी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में इन्हें सुनने से कतराते हैं। नमस्ते दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है केशव चतुर्वेदी और मैं आपको ले चलूंगा कुछ ऐसे सफर पर जहां आपको एक नया नजरिया मिलेगा सफर और मंजिलों को देखने का। आइए इन किस्से कहानियों में डूब जाएं। हर मंगलवार और शुक्रवार